And the economic impact, it's just hard to ignore when it comes to terrorism. I want to bring in our Holly Williams, who is on the ground in Istanbul. Holly, what can you tell us? What's the latest?
Rena, we've just been speaking with a Turkish government official who confirmed that this occurred around the entrance to Istanbul Ataturk Airport, around the area of the international terminal there. And according to his account, police at the airport noticed a man behaving suspiciously. He was then joined by two other men. Apparently, when the police approached those men, there was gunfire between the two groups, and then there were two explosions. That official says that at least one of those explosions was a suicide bomber. According to other reports, both of those explosions were suicide bombers. We're still working to confirm that. And that Turkish government official has also confirmed to us that 10 people are confirmed so far to have died in this attack, Rena.
Holly, what happens now? What do you assume? I know there have been other attacks in Turkey, but what will the government response be to this now? It's obviously an attack that has now international attention.
Well, this will have simply a terrible impact on the Turkish economy. We've already seen a dramatic slump in travellers and tourists coming to this country. You go to the main tourist sites that used to be packed at this time of year. They're not empty, but dramatically fewer people there. And tourism is just such a big part, or has been such a big part of the Turkish economy. So this will be simply devastating. Remember, though, that this comes off the back of a year of a spate of suicide attacks here in Turkey. Now, some of them have been attributed to ISIS by the Turkish government. That includes two attacks earlier this year that seemed to target foreigners, one in the historical district of Sultanahmet, one on the main shopping street of Istiklal. But many of the other attacks have been carried out by Kurdish militants, and those Kurdish groups are involved in a long-running violent conflict against the Turkish state, particularly in this country's southeast. Now, in the instance of in the cases of most of those attacks that have been carried out by Kurdish groups, they have fairly quickly claimed responsibility. We will need to see if that happens in this case in the next few hours or perhaps days. Remember also that one of those Kurdish militant groups, the Kurdistan Freedom Hawks, warned quite recently that although they are not targeting tourists and foreigners, they warned that tourists and foreigners could be swept up in the violence, that they couldn't guarantee their safety. Rena?
Holly, you were talking about the Kurdish separatists. Is there a different target that they tend to focus on? You say that it's not necessarily soft targets, but are they more government targets?
That's absolutely correct. In the spate of bombings that we've seen over the last year, the Kurdish militants have tended to focus on Turkish security personnel. They target the police, they target the military, and civilians who die in those attacks tend to be just unlucky in the wrong area at the wrong time. The attacks that the Turkish authorities have attributed to ISIS this year occurred in areas where there are lots of tourists. But remember that one of those Kurdish groups have warned that foreigners and tourists are not immune to the terror attacks that they carry out here in Turkey.
And Holly, you've covered a great deal, obviously, in Turkey and also the Middle East as well. But the influx of Syrian refugees, some, 2 to 3 million inside of Turkey as well. How does that impact the terrorism situation?
Well, Turkey was perceived as an island of stability and democracy until fairly recently. And over the last few years, that situation has really deteriorated. As you pointed out, beginning with the Syrian civil war 5 years ago, millions of Syrians began to pour across the border, most of them desperate refugees, some of them perhaps with violent intentions. Also, we've had a falling apart of the ceasefire between Kurdish militant groups and the Turkish state. So particularly in the last year, the security situation in Turkey has deteriorated rapidly. A series of attacks that have frightened people here and certainly frightened foreign tourists away.
Okay. our Holly Williams in Istanbul. Holly, thank you so much.